太好了。
And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. I'm coming to you live from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia from the Safari Star offices. You're going to meet both Amy and Richard from the Safari Star team, but also what we're going to be discussing today is everything related to selling on Amazon in Saudi Arabia in KSA. I'm going to get started with a little bit of a small presentation for you to talk about why you should consider selling on Amazon in Saudi Arabia. And please do let us know if you have any questions related to selling on Amazon in the Middle East and in particular in Saudi Arabia. So let me get started. We are live, so any questions ready to answer. First of all, let's talk about unlocking Amazon in Saudi Arabia. Just so that you are aware, the MENA region, e-commerce sales in the MENA region are they're estimated to reach, and they have actually reached 48.6 billion US dollars in the year 2022. So it's quite a great number. Now, the three major markets that see the highest e-commerce sales, we're talking 80%, are the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Definitely today we're focused on Saudi Arabia. We're always focused on the UAE. It's our primary market, but Saudi Arabia is definitely a great market. Now, just to give you a general idea about the market in Saudi Arabia, for the past 3 months, as you can see right now, Amazon in Saudi Arabia has been getting an average of 15.8 million visitors per month. That's 15.8 million visitors per month to the website. Now, just to let you know, probably that's not a very, very high number if you compare it to Amazon US as an example, but it is quite a high number for the market here, and definitely growing on a day-by-day basis. Also, something to note and something that's very, very important is the population. Almost everyone thinks that people who buy from Amazon in the Middle East are mostly female. But as you can see right here, 78% of people that buy from Amazon in KSA are male. That's why we see a lot of electronics being bought, a lot of male dominated products. But also something that's very, very cool is the fact that the age distribution of most customers is between 25 to 34 years old, which is the ideal age for any e-commerce seller, because that's exactly the type of customer that we want. It's the customers that buy a lot of products. Now, just to give you a glimpse of an idea about Amazon in Saudi Arabia, Amazon in particular, as you know, there are lots of marketplaces, but two very strong marketplaces in Saudi Arabia would be Amazon as well as Noon. Now, this will come as a surprise to you because Amazon is ranked number 27 as a website in Saudi Arabia. Like amongst all of the websites, Amazon is number 27. I want you to guess what is the number one most visited website in Saudi Arabia. Any guesses? Let us know in the comments. Any guesses? And Noon, which is equally a very strong website, however, it's number 48 when it comes to websites in Saudi Arabia. Amazon is number 1 in e-commerce and Noon is number 9 in e-commerce. Still great, but Amazon is dominating at the moment. And the number one website, the number one most visited website in Saudi Arabia is actually Google. Google is number 1, number 2 is YouTube, and number 3 is Twitter. I think that comes without any surprise, yeah? So those are the most visited websites, just to give you an idea. Now, one thing to check, and I think you're going to like these numbers a lot, e-commerce market is projected to reach 11.98 billion US dollars in sales and revenue in 2023. And in KSA, the annual growth rate is over 13%. It's 13.90%. So we're projected to reach 20.16 billion US dollars in sales by 2027. Incredible numbers. And these numbers, we mostly don't see them unless, we definitely see bigger numbers in Europe and the European market as well as the US market, because it's a very much established market. However, we're seeing very strong numbers coming in, and this is truly an emerging market. So if you want to be part of this market, the time is now. Now, before we get started with your questions and talk about Amazon KSA and how you can get into Amazon KSA as a non-local seller, because I know most of you watching us now do not live in KSA, let's talk about the number one most asked question, which is what to sell on Amazon and KSA. This is the number one most asked question by almost everyone. And honestly, it's the same idea and concept. Whenever you want to search for products on to sell online, it's the same concept. But I would like to, I think you should change the mindset of what should I sell, or is my product going to be successful? And rather think, well, if Amazon is getting an average of 15 million visitors on a monthly basis, it's no longer a problem whether your product is going to sell, yes or no, because there's a lot of customers. What you should be focusing on is, how do I position my product into something that's going to sell, rather than focus on, is it going to sell, is it not going to sell? 15 million people, it should sell, your product should sell. But what you need to focus on is, how do you position that product into something that customers really want? So one thing that you can look at if you're doing research on Amazon without utilizing any tools is you can check the Amazon website itself. So you can log into Amazon, check best sellers, and click, and inside you can look at the products. And the cool thing about Amazon is that you can check the BSR, the best seller rank of each and every product, and then you can estimate and understand whether the product is successful, yes or no. You can also go to Noon, which is for some people, it's the number one e-commerce marketplace because they like to buy from it. But for others, it's not. For others, it's the number two marketplace. So it depends on what you like. But you can go on Noon, and Noon also does have the same list, just like Amazon, a bestseller list, where you can log in and see what are the best sellers, what are people buying, and what do they want to purchase from marketplaces like Amazon and Noon. And you'll see there's so many different products that people want, and it's fantastic, really, because you can, like I said, sell almost anything. Now, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Let's move on to your questions, but let me introduce you. Let's move the camera and let me introduce you to Richard. Hi,
Hi
Richard.
guys, my name is Richard. I'm from Safari Star. Great presentation, Crystal. Some
Thanks.
really good facts there and some interesting slides.
So we're very happy. Thank you so much for hosting us. So I'm in, like I said in the beginning, I'm in the Safari Star office right here in Riyadh. You guys have also focused a lot on the market here in Saudi, but let's talk a little bit more about Safari Star and what services you offer.
Safari Star, we come, if you don't know about us, we initially started off as Amazon sellers ourselves. So we got great knowledge of how Amazon works, how the Seller Central works, and how the seller's mind works. But we provide services for business compliance. So our main service at the moment is VAT. We help our sellers, our customers, to stay compliant in whatever country they sell their products in, so that they can continue growing their business and they don't get into any trouble while they're doing it. Because when you're setting up your own Amazon business, it's very important to stay safe as a business and not get to the point where you are interrupted, or you are suspended, or stopped in any way from continuing growing, continuing doing business. So that's the services we provide. I mean, apart from VAT, we also do branding and EPR. If you're selling in Europe, for example, that's another new thing that's come into play. And of course, company registration and formations.
Perfect. So thank you, Ahmed. We're adding the banner behind us so it looks a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
So let's before I ask you the main question of why has Safari Star, why have you guys focused a lot recently on the Middle East market? Hold on.
Mhm.
Let's check some of the people's messages right here on YouTube. So we're getting a message from Pacification saying that he or she works in Amazon Saudi Arabia and Amazon Saudi Arabia is expanding. Well, of course, we already know that. So just so you guys know, in case you aren't aware, Safari Star as well as Amazon Sellers Society, we're Amazon SPN service providers, which means we're certified by Amazon and we provide you all of the services that you need as Amazon sellers. And we get information from Amazon about what's happening on the platform. So we know that Amazon Saudi Arabia is very good. So going back to my question, Richard, why have you guys decided to focus on the Middle East? Like, I'm doing the same, but
Yeah.
like
So as we know, I mean, Amazon is the world's biggest marketplace, right? And it's ever growing, and every few months they pop up a new location in another country, and it just grows and expands and expands and expands. For us, we have quite a large community of sellers that are with our clients, our customers. So we always try to make sure that we can satisfy our customers' needs. So if they want to move to a new location, we want to be there already, ready to provide them with our services already established, so that we are already used to the environment and we know what to do. Okay, so same with Saudi in a way. When Amazon started its platform in Saudi, we wanted to be there for our clients so that we can support them. But that's probably not the only reason why we're in Saudi. I mean, Saudi is a growing marketplace in general. It's developing really rapidly. I mean, as you said from the stats previously in your slides, it is growing and it's predicted to get just bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think in future we're going to see more and more from the Saudi marketplace in general, which means obviously there's going to be more demand for our services. So we want to be as prepared as we can for these changes to come in.
100%. So let's answer this question from Goldwater. Goldwater 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 6 6, just six. How is Noon? Is it worth to sell on Noon UAE or Noon KSA? Let me answer that. When you want to come into e-commerce, it's irrelevant whether like e-commerce in general is a very strong business model in the Middle East. So it's just about setting up, like, why would you only want to sell on one marketplace, i.e. Amazon? So Amazon is a very strong contender. I think for anyone that wants to start selling and setting up from the beginning, it's much easier for you as a new seller to get started on Amazon, but you definitely want to be omni-channel. You want to be selling on every single marketplace that is available to you. Maybe not straight out of the gate, but later on. Of course, you don't want to be on only one platform. Now, to you, Richard, this question. Mahmoud is saying, and we get this question all the time, and you do as well, of course, how to sell on Amazon KSA if you are a business that is based in the UAE?
Okay, well, if you sell on Amazon KSA as a business in UAE, I'm guessing we're looking here from the taxes and VAT point of view. So you can set up and register with Amazon, obviously, if you want to sell on their marketplace in KSA. And then the rules are pretty much the same as in UAE, except obviously as you're not a KSA resident, you don't have a threshold before you have to register for VAT. So the rule is the same. Once you start selling, once your product goes on the marketplace, you have 30 days from your first sale to register for VAT and start declaring. And then VAT declarations are quarterly. So you then just have to keep up with your VAT filings on quarterly basis.
Perfect. So I guess the second question always behind after, I normally get these questions is, well, it seems a little bit complicated, especially if you are new to the business and you're selling in the UAE and you're not registered for VAT and you're doing whatever you want, is it really worthwhile moving into KSA? Is it really like something that's a little bit complicated or not really? VAT shouldn't, or tax registration shouldn't hinder you from expanding your business.
I think tax registration VAT should not hold you back. And I don't think you should be looking at it as something complicated or something scary. Um, VAT and tax registration, it should be normal part of your business because once you sell things, you are charging the customer VAT. Therefore, you have to give it back to the government once you've made your sale. Again, as I said, it's not particularly complicated. We have a lot of questions around registration when it comes to whether you are an individual seller or business seller. Some people are not sure what to do if they're individuals versus when they're a business. But actually, the end result, again, is the same. If you're an individual, you still have to register in the same way. Some of the documents and the formalities that are required when you register are slightly different, but the end is more or less the same. It's things like IDs and proof of bank and proof of who you are. If you're a company, then it's a proof of your company registration. If you're an individual, then you really just need a proof of ID. And then once we register, we take care of the rest. So as a business or as the individual seller, you don't really need to do anything other than provide us with the sales information. And Safari Star will contact you and remind you when your filings are due and what you need to submit. So again, from the business point of view or from your seller point of view, there is nothing complicated to it other than getting in touch with us, and then we do the rest for you and allow you to continue with your business and allow you to continue expanding.
We like to always focus on the positive, but let's say worst case scenario, you get started on Amazon KSA, you register for VAT, all of that, and you just don't want to continue. It seems to be not a proper market for you. From a tax and VAT perspective, what do you need to do?
Again, not a problem. So let's say, for example, you started selling on Amazon KSA, and you register for VAT. And then you realize that your business is just not making any sales and it's not worth it because obviously then you have to continue paying your Amazon fees or your VAT fees and all your business fees. And if they outweigh your sales and over long term you don't see any improvement, or maybe it's not a good product, or maybe you're not positioning in the right way, whatever the reason is, and you decide you no longer want to be on Amazon KSA, all you do is you deregister your VAT and you stop selling. So it's again not complicated, and you don't have to do anything yourself as the seller other than contact your provider. For example, you contact Safari Star and say, look, we no longer want to sell on Amazon KSA. Could you please help us? And we would then again take care of the rest for you, tell you what you need to do, get in touch with the tax authorities to inform them of the changes. So there's no problems as the end result.
Yeah. Perfect. So let us know if you have any questions related to how you set up your business in KSA. I think a lot of people don't actually know that they can also register a business in Saudi Arabia, even as non-locals and non-residents. So there is a way if you want to do that instead of using your UAE business. If you want to know a little bit more information, write us in the comments any questions that you have. But let's go through one question that we got from Tawheed, saying how we find local suppliers in the KSA market. I get this question all the time. I'm going to get Richard's perspective as an Amazon seller. But normally, how you find local suppliers in any market is the same. I think we've been spoiled with having marketplaces like Alibaba and global sources and all of these great marketplaces because it makes things so much easier for you to find suppliers. But when you want to get suppliers from the local market, you have to do a little bit more work. So you have to search on Google, you have to ask local factories, you need to do the groundwork, not necessarily factories. Maybe you're looking to find wholesale products from wholesalers. You need to do the homework, you need to do some groundwork in order to find. What do you think,
Yeah,
Richard?
I mean, in general, when I'm looking for products as a seller, I would be looking again on Alibaba, for example, and you can narrow it down and say, look, I only want to see suppliers in KSA.
Yep.
And it'll give you a list of registered suppliers. just because they're local suppliers, that doesn't mean that they don't advertise on big marketplaces like Alibaba. Any local factory, local supplier, if they want to make business, they want to advertise and they want to be seen. And one of the best places to be seen as a supplier would be to go on Alibaba, because most of Amazon sellers will at some point in their history look on Alibaba for a supplier, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they might
the first thing
later narrow it down and make a better deal than they do initially, but that's where they look. So I believe that local suppliers from here will also advertise on there, right? To be more visible. And the other thing is, like you said, I mean, the most used website in KSA is Google, right? So I don't think we use Google enough. People tend to forget that Google does Google translation, search, and everything. You know, you can find pretty much anything you want, you can find on Google. Even if you're looking for products, search on Google, it'll probably come back with Alibaba. Yeah, but it's a great place to start.
It is perfect. It is. Abdul Ali is saying, how can we contact Safari Star? We will leave the information of Safari Star in the description box of this video, but you'll also be able to go, you can go to Google and find Safari Star. I believe the website is safaristar.com.
Yep. So the website is safaristar.com.
Very easy.
There's a QR code up there, but
I don't know if you
whether
can
you
see
can scan it from the screen. I'll move my head out the way. But yeah, if you go to safaristar.com, there's a contact us page. You can also view our services there and all sorts of other things. Getting in touch is really simple. Most of the time, I'll be the one that gets back to you, so you'll be in good hands.
Perfect. Well, we'll see. So another question from Ricky, and this question we get a lot, Richard. I see it all the time because people are very shocked when they discover that they can get started selling on Amazon KSA or UAE without having a local presence, meaning they can use like their Italian company or their UK LLC or their UK LTD or their US LLC. So they're kind of shocked as to that. But to answer your question, Ricky, yep, you can. Yes, you can use your Italian company to sell on Amazon and KSA. What would be the advantages or disadvantages of using like not a local company?
Well, I guess if you're not using a local company, then there is no sales threshold from a VAT perspective. So you would have to register again. As soon as you start selling, you have to register and start declaring your sales. Whereas if you're a local company, there's a Ahmed, you have to help me on this one. Is it 375,000? That's right. Okay. Yeah. So then you've got some kind of a threshold before you have to register and start declaring. There you can then test the market and see whether it's worth it for you as a company to do it. But again, I mean, as an Italian company, for example, you can still register on Amazon KSA, register your VAT, start declaring. The service is not that expensive, and start making more sales. I mean,
it makes more sense.
The market in KSA, one of the good things is a lot less saturated than other markets in Europe that have been around for a long time. So there's still an easier way to get your foot in the market and start getting more visibility.
And I think you're right, Richard, in the sense of it makes more sense because now if you have a local company, now you have to figure out, is there an issue with double taxation? Are you going to pay taxes because you're doing income in, because you live in Italy? So now it becomes a little bit complicated. Just use your Italian company until you get to a point where you're really, really happy with the market, and then maybe you can move it locally. Because just to let you know, setting up businesses in both the KSA as well as UAE, registering a business is not as inexpensive as it is in Europe. It is somewhat of an expense. So it makes more sense for you to just do the VAT service. It's actually less
cost-wise, it will come out less registering and paying your VAT. VAT, what's the rate in Ahmed in KSA?
15 in KSA, 5 in UAE.
Yeah, so if you look at the figures of that, I mean, comparing to Europe, it's a lot less VAT to pay. And if you want to go down the route of registering company, I mean, yes, in some ways it's a lot better to have your own company here, but in other ways you have, like you said, a lot more to look after. Then you have your company taxes to do, you have a lot of other fees to pay. So that's, small 5-15% of VAT that you're going to end up paying for, the initial period until your sales hit the 375 threshold. is not going to be worth it in the end.
Well, if Ricky is based in Italy and has an Italian company, 15% is nothing.
Yeah.
15% for anybody that's European is like nothing. 5% in the UAE is also nothing. It's a walk in the park. But so it's not going to be a big problem. And at the end of the day, you can factor it into your selling prices for sure. So sorry, Lou, for missing your question. Let's look at Lou's comment. So Lou Alex is saying, do you think commercial lighting fit for Amazon KSA, like LED panel, LED downlight, etc.? Look, I think everything, from my perspective, I think everything has an audience. As long as you have a large marketplace like Amazon and you're getting a lot of traffic, there is a possibility to sell products. Now, it's a little bit tricky because at the end of the day, the Amazon consumer is like somebody that's going to the supermarket. They walk into Amazon or they walk into a supermarket and they're searching for something in particular. So that's why you would need to do your research in order to figure out, are they really looking for all of your catalogs, all of the type of products that you're selling, or should you basically focus on a few products because those would be the best selling on Amazon? But the great thing, like I said, is because Amazon has so much traffic, you can basically sell anything, but definitely each and every product should have its own strategy. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. I mean, I started selling on Amazon back in 2009.
Yeah.
Amy? Yeah, around 2009, 2010. I mean, around then you could sell literally anything you want on Amazon.
Yeah.
You have a product, sell it. And this hasn't changed between then and now.
Yeah.
This is still the case. The only difference is that the market is a lot more saturated. So there's a lot more sellers and there's a lot more options. So as long as your product is the best product and you have the best way of marketing it, it doesn't even have to be the best product, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. In short term, right? You can make loads of sales in short term as long as you promote it in the right way and you advertise it in the right way. I mean, the best product sells in its group will be the one with the best advert. The best picture wins, right?
Yeah.
People come in and then over time, reviews will grow and then it will be a factor of the best picture and the best promo together with the best star rating, right? As long as you can maintain that, you're good. You can still sell anything you want. So if you can promote and you can position your product in the right way with the right titles, the right keywords, the right images, you've done your research, you can sell anything. I don't see a limiting factor. I think as long as you've got the mindset to it and you want to do it. Yeah, I always said that if you're passionate about your product and you believe in what you're selling, you can sell anything. If you just want to go to Amazon and sell stuff, you might be okay, but you won't be as good as the guy who lives and breathes the product that he's selling.
The key word there is sell.
Yeah.
Because most people think, I'll just put the product on Amazon and it'll sell itself.
You've got to sell.
You have to sell it, even if you're but it's so much easier than imagine having to sell it like in person, one-on-one. You're just selling it online to a really huge group of people, so it makes things much, much, much easier. Sure.
It's not an easy thing though, to sell it, because you have to do your research. You have to research your competitors. You have to see what people like to buy, check your BSRs, which is your bestseller ratings, and see why is this product selling better? Is it the pictures, the reviews, is it the product itself? And you have to understand those. And that's why I was saying, if you're passionate about your product that you're selling, if you love your product that you're selling, you will know that much more about it than anyone else. You'll be the expert on it. And that's the best way to sell your thing.
So Khalid is saying, is your service directed to non-Saudis only?
No, we're open to everyone. We've got an office in Riyadh, right in center.
Where we are now.
You're welcome to walk in. We have Arabic speaking accountants and staff who will be happy to greet you and discuss with you. We have some great Arabic coffee here as well and dates. So feel free to stop by and discuss.
I think, Khalid, we're focused a little bit more on people who don't live in KSA. Just because, now in our conversation, we're focused a little bit more because we feel like people that are living in KSA kind of know this information. That's why it's a little bit maybe mysterious to people living outside, but of course not. It's a service. So
it's always
anybody that needs the service is
it's always a bit scary getting into a new country that you maybe don't know anything about in terms of what are their customs and laws and everything else versus somewhere where you're comfortable selling. but sometimes it makes a big difference entering a new marketplace because you'll have that much more opportunity to sell and to grow.
Yeah. And Ricky is saying, yeah, that's true. Italy, they had
Yeah.
22%.
That's
I
right.
thought it was actually higher than 22. So, but
I bet
it's
Ricky
a
will be
tough
happy
one.
to change the 22 to a 15, right?
It's
Or a 5.
or a 5. Now that's wonderful. A 5 is great, but 15 is still fantastic. What else do we want to? Okay, so let us know, guys, your questions. We're going to end soon, so please let us know if you have any questions related to selling on Amazon in the Middle East, in particular Amazon in KSA. So Tahid is saying, how much budget is required to register a company in KSA? Like
So it kind of depends whether you want a sponsor with your company or whether you want a 100% owned company. I'm not really an expert on this. My partner Amy's the expert on company registration in Saudi. So maybe Amy, you'll come over and give us a quick comment. I will roll out. We will roll you in.
Rolling Amy in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy. Yeah, regarding to set up a company here in Saudi, you're able to set up like 100% shareholder.
Yeah.
Or you are doing as a partnership locally.
Yeah.
And if you set up a 100% shareholder, then you need set up as a like parent company first, and then set up a sub company in Saudi. So in terms of fees, in Saudi is quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's for the first year for the government phase, like already.
Look how much she's hesitating to tell you because it's a high number.
So for example, for the government phase, like 12,000 just for the MISA license fee.
Yeah.
But for the second year of the renew the MISA license fee, already like 62,000 like license fee. So
62,000 riyals.
Riyadh, even not included with the like professional service fee. Added together, it's quite high.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell on Amazon, you don't have to set up the local company.
That's great, because let's move on to this question before you answer it. From Hamad saying, how can a salaried individual open a business in KSA, or the person should leave as a worker and apply for a business visa?
How many comment during this question? This my tax agent.
So this is a question that we get a lot. So everyone, please meet Ahmad from Safari Star. Yeah.
Hello, guys.
So Ahmad, let's answer the question, because we get this question a lot. People asking if they are working in KSA and they're on like a work visa, work permit, work visa. I don't know what it's called. But are they allowed to sell in KSA? Because you hear a lot of people being very worried about it, about their iqama, something happening. Yeah.
So about this question, it's against by UAE, because UAE, if the people they are resident in UAE, they cannot sell unless they get the threshold of registration of voluntary threshold or mandatory threshold.
Yeah.
But in KSA, they can allow to open the make the account of Amazon or Noon or any platform they need to use it, and after they have the first sale, they can prove this first sale screenshot to Zakat and Tax and the Custom Authority to let them know I earned a profit inside KSA and I'm resident. So I have to register for that to pay the VAT back to the government, to the tax office. So they allow to give the specifically TIN number, tax identification number, to get the tax number, and they can continue the business with Noon or with Amazon or any platform.
Perfect. So just let's refresh that again, what Ahmad just said. If you are a resident in KSA, as soon as you start selling, you can go ahead and prove that to the government so that you can get a tax registration number, and then you're paying your taxes, everything is fine. But as an individual selling in UAE, you need to get to the mandatory threshold or to the allowed threshold, which is 187,000 or 185?
187,500.
Yeah, 187,500 if you want to register for VAT. But in the UAE, things are a little bit easier than here.
Yeah.
Perfect. One more question, Ahmed, please, because this is a question that we get a lot from people that want to get their products into KSA. So what about the Saber registration?
Yeah, for Saber registration, you have notified the government first, because Saber it's platform related to the custom declaration,
Yeah.
and they helping the seller to get the product or the goods very quick than to declare by yourself. So Saber registration, if you are like international seller or you are not resident in KSA, so you have to go by NIC. This is the National Information like company. So you have to go by the login details and create the login details as by your passport number or any like GCC ID number, to let them know you are as a GCC resident or you are an international seller. And then after you get registered for Saber, then you can link your product directly to the custom declaration to declare your custom easily, than to get by agent and you have to pay more.
Perfect. So you can do it on your own. But Divya, just to explain to you, Saber is something that you need in order to import the products, but Amazon doesn't require it as of now.
Yes.
Amazon does not require it. They just want you to get your product into the country. They don't want to bother how you're doing it, basically. Yeah, they don't want to bother how you're doing it. So a follow-up question, Ahmed, would be, what if we are not, well, we've answered it, but let's answer it. What if we are not residents in KSA? Can we still register on Amazon?
For
Yes,
Amazon,
of course.
definitely, yeah. They can register even if not resident. They will not, there is no limit for that threshold.
Yes.
So they can register even for 1 riyal.
Yeah.
For 1 Saudi riyal.
Yeah. So Riham, just to answer your question, there is a list for Amazon KSA and Amazon UAE. There is a list of approved countries. If you live in the country, or if you are a national of those countries, you can register as a seller on Amazon KSA and UAE. The list for the UAE is much longer than KSA, but still there are a lot of countries that are there. So yes, as an example, if you live in UAE, you don't need to be a UAE national. You can be from any country. If you have an Emirates ID, as an example, you can register as a seller using that Emirates ID or using an Emirates business license as a seller in KSA. But like Ahmed said, because you are an international seller, then you would need to register for VAT from zero. From the first sale, you have 30 days.
Yes, you have 30 days to declare your first sale to the Zatka or FTA in UAE.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. It was such a great time being here in the Safari Star offices in Riyadh. What is the address, Ahmed, of your office?
Leader Business Tower 2. This is in in King Fahd Road, Branch Road. In Al Walaya province.
So you can find all of the details of Safari Star on their website, of course, if you want to contact them, and you can come visit if you are here in KSA, just like I am. You can come here and visit and meet the team, especially Ahmed.
Even the email it's showing here. So it's info.jcc@safaristar.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any questions related to selling on Amazon in KSA, please leave them in the comments of this video or contact us directly. Bye.